Hi, I'm Joseph Aleo. I'm the big kahuna behind Vikings versus Samurai. And a couple months ago, I did a webcomic. It's called Sellsword, and it features none other than Skvane Snorfingr. Now, nobody else knows who Snorfingr is except for myself. But Snorfingr is actually our good friend here, Taylor. And last year we did a role-playing game. It was Dark Heresy, Warhammer, if you know the Warhammer sort of thing. And Taylor had this awesome character, Skvane Snorfingr. He's basically a space Viking. And when I started doing Vikings versus Samurai, I said, how can I get Skvane Snorfingr in the comic book? And I had a brilliant idea. And then I had another brilliant idea. I said, hey, I'm doing a motion comic. Taylor, can I use your face? And Taylor said, yes. And so, Taylor, you sent some wonderful photos of yourself. Give us a good Skvane Snorfingr face. Yes, exactly. That's it. And so then I had another brilliant idea. I said, hey, Taylor, can you be the voice of Skvane Snorfingr? And you said, yes, I can do that. But Taylor, you had a brilliant idea yourself. You said, can I bring my cousin James aboard? And I'm like, well, yeah, sure. And you mentioned that he was actually a professional voice actor. I'm like, oh, well, okay, all right. But what you guys delivered was fantastic. I like, this is no hyperbole. I had chills when I heard the recording. I'm like, oh, this is unbelievable. So Taylor, I know you. We've known each other for 17 years. I've done Solipsistic Nation, which is my electronic music show, and I've done a whole bunch of other stuff. And every time I have a crazy scheme, I rope you in, and you always deliver. And this time, you've really brought home the goods with James. So, James, let's find the. I'm slurring here. Let's put the spotlight on you for a second. You do voiceover. Tell us how you got involved with it and some of the projects that you were involved with.
Sure. Yeah. So I've just been acting since I was a kid, since I was 11 and super into that and like always in the entertainment industry and the performing arts. I like first got into the business side and then like a few years into my career wanted to go back into acting as an outlet. So just have a ton of experience in theater and some TV film stuff, competitive speech and debate things in high school. And voiceover was super accessible as an outlet while still having my full-time job. And I work at YouTube full-time, so just putting in the time and figuring out like how the industry works and how to break in has just been a gradual ongoing journey and process.
So, what are some of your techniques to inhabit a voice, to deliver what the client needs? I'm not a client, obviously, but if I were a client, how do you go about that? What's your process?
Yeah, well, I would say that like voice acting is deceptively harder than it seems because if you do like other types and mediums of acting, like in theater or with TV film, you're actually responding to an actual like person or thing. You're in the environment and you have all that to work off of. And when it comes to your delivery, they can not only hear you, they could see your facial expressions, they could see your physicality. There's all these things that people pick up on. But with voiceover, all they get is your voice. So one of the things I figured out, like after, just getting into this is you're not really acting into the mic. What you're doing is you're putting a full-on performance and the mic just happens to be in front of you and picks up your audio. So it should still be a full body thing. And if you see any like clips of professional voice actors like in the studios and in the booth, they're all over the place. So that's one of the things that I really still stick to, and that's helped a lot with delivering it. And it's about like kind of imagining in your head the scene, and when you have really not as much to work with, you're in like a booth like this by yourself with a microphone, and you don't have much else to really react and respond to. So it's a lot of like in your head creativity.
Now, I didn't give you much direction. I think the only thing I said is you should hear him twirling his mustache because he's an evil son of a bitch. And of course, you had some visuals. So, with that minimal direction, how did you find your role, the way to inhabit the voice of Tsukamoto?
Well, I had Taylor's help. So he came over to my place. We were playing around in the booth. He brought over some dark beers and we were drinking that before recording. I don't recommend doing that, in voiceover in general, but we were just playing and having fun, and helped like get, some gravel going. And yeah, he was just kind of helping me set the stage and think about like what's in this world. And I also looked to some inspiration with Kill Bill and watching some of the animated sequences there that they have with like Lucy Liu's character in Kill Bill and her creation story with her parents getting killed and just some of the sound effects and the all that. Uh, and then just thinking like, oh, what is an evil, Japanese shogun sound like? And just, giving it my best.
You nailed it. And by the way, Kill Bill is my favorite chick flick. Now, Taylor, I already had an idea what Snorfingr was going to sound like because, again, the role playing game. And for those of you who do not do role playing games, not everybody has a funny voice, but we did. And it was a little scary for me to start using my voice. And it took a while for everybody to sort of get into it. By our second session, you fully inhabited Snorfingr. But that said, what you delivered, he sounded like the thug, the menacing beast that he is. So, what was sort of the your thought process behind getting to really flesh out Snorfingr?
Well, since this incarnation in Sellsword is a more mercenary version of him versus the 40K version, I tried to sound like he was trying to be charming and like he had a good deal for you, but also he just is like, ah.
You had a good deal because he killed a good number of the troops. All right, so before we bring this home, you guys are multi-talented. As I said, I've known Taylor for a good long time. You always have something going on. So what do you have going on? And if people want to learn more about you, Taylor, where can they go online to find out more?
So I've been making music for a Victorian survival horror game called Gloomwood that's out on early access in Steam. It's a game made by New Blood. And I've been doing the music for it for quite a few years, even before it was picked up by New Blood. And also a lot of the atmospheric sounds. And every time there's a update, or often when there's an update on the early access, it's opening up a new district of the city of Gloomwood. And the most recent district, the Underport, is so big that we had to break the update into two pieces. So the power plant, which is the first piece, just dropped, and it was cool because I got to do some creature sound design for this, for the crowmen and the rats and the mechanical watchdogs, in addition to the music and various atmospheric sounds. And really happy with how that turned out. And the next part coming up is the Hive, and the music that I wrote for that is my favorite music that I've written for Gloomwood so far. So very excited for that to come out. Also, I've been doing this horror goth band called Gripped with Romy Romack and Lysandra Ariella since 2013. And we just released a greatest hits CD on Death Bomb Arc called Grippedest Hits.
Look at that, everybody.
A little hard to see
Tits.
because of the reflection, but you can get that at the Death Bomb Arc website. And as far as my work, I don't actually have a website. I'm on Twitter at TTTLLLRRR, although my actual at is at _TLR _. But you can find me by searching TTTLLLRRR. Or Taylor Shechet.
Yeah.
That's right. Took me a little bit to figure that out. But a little bit, I mean, like years ago. James, how about you? What do you got going on? And if people want to hire you, and they should hire you, what do you got going on? Where can they find you?
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I've worked for a number of really cool brands, ranging from All Elite Wrestling to Google to DC Kids to Lego. Most recently, I actually did a gig for the U.S. Soccer Federation. They were opening up a world on Roblox. So if you're a gamer and you like Roblox, there's the U.S. Soccer Tycoon. I'm the voice of that world that welcomes you. And if you want to work with me, I always love working with fun and creative people doing creative things. My handle is at James__voices. You could find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I have a website as well, which is jamesvoices.com. And my name's James Shechet, and I'm also on LinkedIn. So I'm in a bunch of places.
Amazing talent, everybody. And Tsukamoto and Snorfingr are going to make an appearance on the next issue of Vikings versus Samurai. It's called Oath of Vengeance. And it's got everything. It's got birth. It's got death. It's got fratricide. It's got beheading. And it'll be out in a couple of weeks. If you want to find out more, go to VikingsVersusSamurai.com. That's VikingsVSSamurai.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Never miss a blood-soaked issue. Find us all on the socials. Again, Vikings vs. Samurai. James, Taylor, thanks for joining us. And thanks for doing it twice, because the first one was a botch. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.